What is up, everybody? It's your boy Chris Cage coming at you 2 times, and we have a weekly race video for y'all. Today, we are on the 4-lane elimination. I know what y'all are thinking. Why did I put it right in the middle of the down and back track? Well, it's because with this coronavirus pandemic, there is literally not anything to do out here. I haven't been hunting as much. I've been ordering that much, but really isn't anything to do. So even though this is out right now in April, several weekly races are being taped in advance because literally there's nothing to do around here. But we did create, however, a new division of cars that you will be introduced to in next week's weekly race, which is why you can see why we still have the down and back track still out. Because we're going to do something big and we're going to do something special with it. So stay tuned for that. But for now, how about we do a good old-fashioned realistic versus fantasy? 20 cars for each side. The winner is the one to eliminate the other side. This will be contested in an unlimited amount of rounds until we get one decisive team with the win. And without further ado, it's time once again to start our weekly race with the first round of Realistix versus Fantasy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, time for round number 1, and here is your first of 20 matchups. And representing Team Realistix, we've got the 16 Bugatti Chiron. Alright, here's your second matchup. Next up, representing Realistix, we have the Ford GT40. Here is your third match. And your winner, representing the fantasy side of things, is the Governor. Here is match number 4. As that wagon gets thrown off, your winner is Breadbox. Here's your fifth matchup, and if you don't know what that orange car is, it's called Steamroller. And Steamroller, well, in its name, steamrolls his way on to the next round. Alright, matchup number 6. Realistix tie it up with the Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo. Here comes matchup number 7. Wow. Second Win is going to get the win as he sends 370Z doing cartwheels. Here comes matchup number 8. And representing Realistix, we have the BMW 2002 as it evens things up yet again. Alright, matchup number 9. Time to see who will win it. The Embosser gives a win for fantasy vehicles. Oh, take a look at this matchup. Even though it's matchup number 10, a battle of open wheel racers, both in real form and in fantasy form. Indy 500 Oval, which represents a lot of Indy cars, just by the body of its shape, defeats the fantasy Formula 1 racer, or F1 racer as it's called, to even things up for Realistix. Matchup number 11. Let's see who wins it. Now it's Realistix getting the upper hand as we see the 2010 Ford Mustang GT getting a win. Here we go, matchup number 12. And let's see if fantasy cars can give out the upper hand. And they can, and they do with Sidekick. All right, entry number 13. Trying to see who will win it. All right, 92 Ford Mustang has won, but look at how Baja truck fell. He fell right onto the track. I mean, like, you could kind of hear a splat on the camera. If not, that's what it did. Just flew off of there, and then boom, right over there. But 92 Ford Mustang moves on. Looks like we are on match number 14. It's time to see who will win it. Looks like we're going to have to do a redo here. And it goes to the Land Rover Series 3 pickup. Time for match number 15. Time to see who will get it. That stubby car had no chance, but your winner is Fairlady 2000. Here we go, match number 16. It's time to see who will win it. It's going to go to Speed Blaster with those saw blade wheels that are hidden. Matchup number 17. It's time to see who will win it. Fantasy cars are catching up this time. 24 Hours is going to get the win. Matchup number 18. It's time to see who will get this win. Oh, wow. Well, looks like they might have a useful car on their behalf because we know the rules. If another car crosses the line and then the other one cannot fully withstand or stand or stay in the blue piece of track with four wheels, like for instance, if this car has just crossed, if stuff's crossed the line, but then this is like this, or if there is a complete wipeout like this, which is what has happened, that means that we automatically give the win to Stealth. So this car could prove to be a huge factor in many matchups to come, effectively evening it up once again for the side of the fantasy cars. Matchup number 19. It's time to see who will win it. Winning formula. Finally, matchup number 20. Will we have an even matchup heading into round 2? Or one side with the advantage? I don't think I've never had this in any realistic versus fantasy races for weekly races. Because as Ice Cream Truck, even though it's called Quick Bite, is been out and Roger Dodger is in. So what that means is, if you look, we have an even match. It is completely even. I've never had this happen at all doing realistic versus fantasy races for weekly races, but this is the first time this has ever happened. So, without further ado, it's time to get all these cars into place and see who will go in and who will go out, as round number 2 will kick off right after this. Time to begin round number 2. The only way there can be no other rounds after this is if either realistic or fantasy cars end up wiping out the entire side completely. That is the only way that there will be no round 3. But if a car from this side and another side wins their races, and that means you can expect a third round, regardless. So, it's time to see what happens with these 10 matchups. Here's the first out of 10. And your winner is the Governor. Here is matchup number 2. Alright, with the Ford GT40 moving on, you can expect a third round. Here we go, matchup number 3. Steamroller. Alright guys, here we go. We're coming at you with matchup number 4. Winner is Second Wind. We're at the halfway point with match number 5, and we only have one realistic car moving on. Fantasy cars have just started to bite back. And they keep biting back as the Embosser gets the win. Alright, matchup number 6. Another realistic car goes down as Sidekick gets the win. Coming into matchup number 7. Here we go. It's time to see who's going to win this. Oh, look at this. He has put a stop to the Speed Blaster. Great defense. Great defense by the 92 Mustang. Speed Blaster has been blocked, and Mustang forces itself on. Alright, matchup number 8. It's time to see who will win it. 24 Hours continues the trend of fantasy cars moving ahead. Alright, second to the last matchup. Well, we could have seen that one coming because Reality 2000 has moved on. And here's your final matchup. Will Roger Dodger give Realistix a fighting chance? Or if not, will Fantasy have another member in their team? Time to see who will win it. Roger Dodger adds a member to their side as this is the 4th one that has won. So, here's how it's going to look for round number 3. As I said, we will get a round 3. So, here's how it's going to look. Looks a little promising, but only one will win. And after that race, it's time to kick off with round number 3, and that will begin right now. Time to kick off the 3rd round. Time to see who will win between these two. Oh, I heard a takeout blow, and the GT40 saves it for Realistix. Here we go, coming at you with the next matchup. Steamroller gets steamrolled out of the competition as the 92 Ford Mustang gets the win. Man, that crucial Speed Blaster victory was what it needed to add some ammo to this team. Here we go. We're coming at you with a 3rd matchup. It's time to see who will win it. Fantasy cars are biting back, and your winner is Second Win. Alright, here's your next matchup. The Embosser moves on. Now, what that means is with these next 2 fantasy cars remaining, the GT40 and the Mustang has to race and beat these 2 if they want to move on to the 4th round. The GT40 has a tough task. Beat the Sidekick and get in. Lose, and then it's up to the Mustang to beat out 24 Hours. Well, I actually saw the sidekick car cross the line, so it doesn't really matter what GT40 has done. Sidekick is still moving on. It's all up to the Mustang to beat out 24 hours. All right, it is gut check time for the Mustang. He has to beat out 24 hours, and then after that, when he gets into round 4, he has to be successful 3 times over. But it all depends in this matchup if there will be a 4th round. Let's see who is going to win. We will have a 4th round as the Mustang dethroned 24 hours. So, here is how it's going to look. We have a 3-on-1 handicap race. 1 Mustang, 3 fantasy cars, and 2 of them are ridiculously fast. Second win, and Sidekick. Sidekick is all the way at the end. Second win is up front. If he loses to second win, it's over. If he loses to Embosser, it's over. If he loses to Sidekick, it's over. So no matter what, in the 4th round, we will be getting a winner. Will it be the lonesome realistic car doing the impossible, or will it be Team Fantasy to stop them in their tracks? And the 4th round will be coming up right after this. All right, it's time for the 4th round. Here's how it's going to go. If the Mustang is out in this race, that means that this will become the shortest round ever, and Team Fantasy will win it. But if the Mustang wins, then he's going to face off against Embosser and then Sidekick. He has to beat those 3 fantasy cars in order to win this entire race. So everything matters on this heat right here and the next 2 to come if he wins. Here goes nothing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have our shortest round ever as second win pulls it off for the fantasy cars. Big shout outs to all the Realistix. They had a great showing, even it up, but in the next 2 rounds, but in the other 2 rounds, they just couldn't handle the heat that fantasy cars were cooking. Well, ladies and gentlemen, couldn't say they haven't tried, because they tried so hard, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yes, Linkin Park references, we got them. But, despite the reference, we all know who our grand winner is, and it is Team Fantasy. And yes, the Sidekick is on the Embosser for laughing purposes and whatnot. So if you find that funny, then good for you. But anyway, big shout outs to Team Fantasy for winning. And that will wrap up today's Hot Wheels weekly race. I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. If you are brand new watching this, be sure to subscribe. And also, turn on the notifications bell as well. It's your boy Chris Cage, and I'm coming at you 2 times, and we will see you at the next video.